I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, now streaming only on Netflix.
Barenaked, Barenaked, ABCs.
Welcome to the Barenaked ABCs, where we cover every Barenaked Ladies song from 7 to Y, and the hard questions. Like, why does BNL think that it has to tell us that they can sing? I mean, don't they think that we know this by now? Joining me tonight to answer that question and others are Aaron.
I can sing too.
And we have a guest this week. We have Marc Rains, correct?
That is correct, yes. I was born that name. I can't help it.
Marc Rains. And he is the person that runs Ghostman Radio Podcast.
Correct.
Nice to meet you, Marc. Yeah.
Hello.
Now, we're going to have a little bit of a delay today because Marc is coming into us all the way from England.
There's a place called Holsworthy in Devon. You probably never heard of it. So.
Well, I haven't, but I haven't heard a lot about England either, so I have to be totally honest about that. Now, when Barenaked Ladies come to visit, they were supposed to come to visit this summer or this spring, but they had to postpone their tour. How close are you to where they come?
If you're going in London, I'm 300 miles away.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be a train.
So, and if you didn't pick up on the
hotel, walk, go, walk, hotel, back again, then back home again. So yeah, it would be a bit of a long trip.
Marc, how many times have you been to see them sing?
Well, I've seen you mostly on video because it's easier for me to see on video because basically because I'm disabled, it's a bit hard for me to go out a bit because I have problems with neuropathy, so I get dizzy. So it's difficult for me to go out sometimes. Mm. So I normally watch things more on video than I do go to concerts. I know that's not quite the same. I know it's a bit of a cheat, but it's an easier access this day and age.
Yeah, and with what's been going on for the last 3-4 months, they've been putting out a lot of video content.
Quite a lot, yes. It's because of this event. We're not allowed to say the word, just in case we get... They don't like you saying it nowadays, do they? They like saying, the event.
The event. For people that haven't picked up on any of the hints that I've been throwing out so far today, we're going to talk about a song that is only about 1 minute long. And if you've been following our last couple episodes, it's kind of a going thing with these short songs lately. And interestingly enough, like we spent a whole hour on a 5-second song. So I think this is going to be a really long podcast today.
It could be.
But today we're going to be talking about the song I Can Sing. If you've never heard the song I Can Sing, here is a quick snippet.
I can sing better. I can knit a scarf, but you can't knit a sweater. When I'm underwater, I couldn't be wetter. Never go swimming in a mohair sweater.
And by quick snippet, you mean virtually the entire song.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. So, we've heard the song, Aaron. What album did it premiere on?
This was obviously from Snack Time.
How did you guess?
Powers of deduction.
Was it just the length of the song? I mean,
partially, but also it's just a very silly song, and it's just, there's some interesting things about it, like the bluegrassy kind of feel and things like that. It wasn't like, oh, that's definitely Snack Time the way some of the other Snack Time songs might have been, but it was pretty clear to me that this was a Snack Time song.
So, Marc, tell me how you came to Barenaked Ladies.
Well, it was just by chance. I looked up shows to be a guest on podcast guest, I think it was, .com or something like that. And your show was up there. And I thought, oh, it sounds an interesting idea or concept. And I thought, oh, look it up. And I wasn't quite sure what I was going to get myself into, but as you always do. And that's why I like the concept of doing things like this, because I like doing live stuff, because then you can sort of do your own thing a little bit, obviously within restrictions. And I've looked at some of your songs and how you do them. I was quite fascinated by your style, how you did your style songs. It's sort of like, but you've gone down stripped yourself right down to the bare minimum. And yet it works completely well because you can actually hear the lyrics, because sometimes you hear a song and it's go boom, 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 boom. And you go, yeah, and then the lyrics go, and you go, sorry mate, I didn't hear the lyrics. You might have a great song, but I didn't hear nothing. So that and I read some of your lyrics and I thought, oh yeah. And you sent me a list of songs that you could do or not do, and I thought, oh my God, because there's so many, I don't know what one to do. So I chose this one because I like the style of the song and it's quick and easy, and I thought I'd do a different kind of version for you. Not quite the version that you got, but I have an idea for a version. I don't know if it will work, but I have an idea. I can speak quicker. Imagine I made a way to make everyone countly frowning snicker. And on the guitar he could be a little slicker. Jimmy was always said I was a good flat picker.
This isn't a great example of their work, just because it's a very different album for them than their typical. But it's an interesting example of what they like to do with their adult albums as well, which is do this very eclectic thing where they try to make their songs sound as various as possible.
I know, as I say, it's a good idea.
Now, are you familiar with a lot of BNL songs?
No, I have to be honest about that. I as I say, I've been watching the YouTube bits. So
what's the type of music you typically listen to?
Well, me, I'm a very eclectic. When I started listening to the music in Southend, we had like reggae, punk, speed metal, thrash, country, classical. I nearly listen to everything, bar tech. Some of them I'm more 70s, 80s, a bit of 90s if you're desperate. Nothing from 2000s, probably the odd artists. I'm very set in my ways. Unfortunately, as you do, you tend to remember an era that you grew up in more than the more modern stuff. It's just the way you are, isn't it? You hear a song back in the 60s, I remember that one. Or the 70s, like when I grew up, we had glam rock with people like Slade and people like that. And it's just what I grew up with, I grew up watching Top of the Pops, obviously before it got stopped because of various reasons which I can't talk about. But that was my thing when we used to go out, go in, Top of the Pops is on. And at Christmas time, we used to listen to Top of the Pops while I was eating our dinner. Like what was a hit of the year, like that kind of thing.
So this is a very different type of song for you then, because this is definitely not pop music, this particular song that they have. It's not even their normal alt rock type music. As you mentioned, Aaron, it's very bluegrassy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now, did either of the two of you listen to the other two versions of this song?
I did the other day. I listened to both of them.
Yeah. Okay. So there are two different versions about it as well. The Bathroom Sessions version is once again, it's just Ed playing the thing all by himself, which is what he does in his bathroom versions. And it's not bluegrassy really at all because you get a lot of the other backing instruments stripped out. It's fun to listen to Ed just playing. But I don't know about you, Aaron and Mark, but I really missed the harmonies and the supporting music that weren't in this version of the song.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I just listened to the other two versions. I really like the version with the persuasions. It's twice as long. There's some additional instrumental sections in there, and there's some really wonderful harmonies. I think in some ways I actually prefer it. It might be my favorite version of the three.
I can speak quicker. Imagine made a wave maker or curling frantic snicker. On a guitar, you can be a little slicker. Jimmy always said I was a good vibe picker.
The Bathroom Sessions version is fun and funny. The delivery on the rap vocal line is great, but yes. I found it kind of lacking, probably due to the missing harmonies. It just isn't. Ed does a great job with it, and it's a fun little performance. But I just feel like it's such a short song. It's short and sweet. The harmonies and the production in it kind of make it what it is. And
my idea is that it would work as a poem. I was looking at your song, and I think most songs, if you look at them properly, if like lyrics, most lyrics are like a poem. Mm-hmm. And when you read a poem, it's got a certain rhyme. If you read a poem properly, it's got certain rhymes. Like if you I read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Now that has got a rhyme to it, although it's quite difficult, some of the words in it. But when you read it properly and you survey it, you look at the rhyme of the song, and it works, and you can work the poem into a song, and vice versa, because that's what a lyric is. When you look at it properly, it's almost like a poem. That's my theory. I might be talking rubbish, but that's my idea. I mean, I don't know if that sounds okay by you, but.
No, and I like that. Like, I think normally we'd go right into music, but I think we'll start with lyrics on this one. And I think that if you're going to analyze this song, like most of the time we really break down the lyrics and we really analyze the song from a really serious standpoint. And I think if you try to do that with this song, if you try to look at it as a poem, it falls apart immediately. It is meant to be a silly song, and it's not meant to tell a story. It's not really meant to tell a tale in any way, shape, or form.
Allow me to strongly disagree here, Tracy. I feel like
go ahead.
Never go swimming in a mohair sweater this is clearly a metaphor for don't do things you should not be trying to. No, I can't even say it with a straight face. Obviously, it's a silly tune, but it's enjoyable. Go ahead.
I do have to say that is my favorite line. I think in the whole song is "Never go swimming in a mohair sweater." Like it is just. It's right there. And what I love about this song is that it is so funny. Like, this is Barenaked Ladies going, okay, we're making a song for kids. Let's just be outlandish, silly, fun, and just drag the kids in to this different type of music. We want to instill in them like a love of bluegrass, but at the same time, like, let's just have some fun here.
Yeah, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's the idea is it's silly, and that's what we need now in this world at the moment is a bit silliness, because otherwise we're going to go, no, it's the end of the world.
There are some great lines in this though, and so Aaron, Can you tell us a little bit, what is a flat picker?
Flat picking is a guitar picking method which you're strumming with a pick, but you're doing it in such a way that you're basically holding the pick very, very, very at the tip. It's more or less contrasted with finger picking, right? So I mean, basically, flat picking you could use it as a catch-all term for just using a pick to play the guitar rather than using your fingers. But I think because in a lot of bluegrass they do use finger picking, and they use you get like the banjo picking and things like that. So I don't know if that's maybe an in joke there, because you do use you can use what do they call them, a plectrum. But yeah, it's flat picking. Yeah, more or less just using a pick to play the guitar. I don't know someone who is. I'm a guitarist fifth, so someone who's a little more of a, especially if someone knows bluegrass. Yeah, I think it's more or less just picking. That's a really long way to say that.
And I think what's funny is the line that's just before that is, and on the guitar he could be a little slicker. And that's sung with the chorus. That's the guys coming in behind. They're picking on Ed.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the pun being made there.
And then he turns and he looks and he's like, yeah, but Jimmy always said I was a good flat picker. Like, it's them picking on each other, playing, and just having fun with each other. Obviously, I think they wrote down the lines beforehand, but they're just like, okay, what can we go here? And there's a lot of, like, I'm just going to find a rhyme for this. But the lines are just really silly. Like, I can knit a scarf, but you can't knit a sweater. Well, yeah, you can knit a sweater. That's how sweaters are made.
Well, I think they're like, it's a call and response. So he's saying, I can knit a scarf, and then the chorus is saying, but you can't knit a sweater.
Oh, that
so
he
it's like get better. So I admit I just did a quick Google. Apparently, I was right. Flat picking is just picking, but the reason I wasn't as familiar with the style of the word is it's used primarily in bluegrass music. They refer to it as flat picking because finger picking is so prevalent. So they'll say, "Are you a flat picker or a finger picker or both?" In rock and blues and other music that I'm a little more familiar with, they just say picking. So that's just picking, interesting. Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know. Exactly. The line that you mentioned, the one that he messes up. So Ed, during his during the appearances that I'm going to shout out there tonight, one of the appearances, he's talking before the song. And he's introducing the song that he's going to sing. And since it's so short, he does a big intro. And one of the great things is he said, I had to sing this line. I'm going to mess this line up really bad tonight. I've never gotten this line right live. I had to record the song 20 times before I could get this line right for the record.
Yeah, it's not only fast, it's kind of awkward. The phrasing of it is awkward to say very fast. Like, I won't even try and sing it, but imagine I made a way to make everyone currently frowning snicker.
Nice.
It's not particular. It doesn't really flow like some of the other. I think you may have even constructed it intentionally difficult to sing rapidly like that. So that's it made me smile, especially in the bathroom sessions.
Well, and he's fitting in more syllables into that line than belong there.
Yeah, it's we talked about how they make musical jokes before. They make little musical in-jokes by making like a palindrome with the notes of the chords or things like that. This is definitely kind of it's quasi showing off and quasi just being silly. What can I do? How many syllables can I cram into here?
Right, and the beginning of the line just before that is, I can speak quicker.
Yeah.
And then he does.
This whole song reminds me of Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
Oh, you can.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I could see that. So I'm going to also point another line in this song. So crank it up loud on the ghetto blaster. Now, a few weeks ago, I really let in to Ed for using keeping it reals, or whatever it was. The use of the word reels in a song, because I'm like, that's not his normal vernacular. That is just going, why are you doing this, Ed? In this song, though, it works because, one, it's contrary to the whole bluegrass thing. You wouldn't normally have bluegrass people talking about ghetto blasters. And I also think that he's making it's a very meta joke of like, I'm making fun of myself saying this in comparison to this music that we're playing right now, and it rhymes.
It matters very much about rhyming. Have you ever heard of Skittle? Lonnie Donegan?
Don't get chewing gum with this flavor on the bedpost overnight. If your mother said don't chew it, do you swallow it is fine. Can catch it on your tonsils, can you hear it left and right? There's your chewing gum with this flavor on the bedpost overnight.
Have you ever heard of Lonnie Donegan? Look him up. You'll find that his style would work for your style. I mean, I know he's long gone, but if you listen to Skittle music, Skittle music is like you had an old washing board, you can make anything into an instrument and basically put a song to it. So it's like your bluegrass, but ours is called Skittle.
Oh, okay. Same kind of music, just different name for it.
So that's a bit of a British education for Americans over there who've never heard of Skittle music. Look up Lonnie Donegan, the king of Skittle. Worth a look at.
I will have to look that up, and I will post that into the liner notes as well.
You'll like it. I guarantee you'll like it.
Yeah, I probably will. I actually, because it's probably coming through in the way I talk about the song. I like the song, even though it's a kid's song. This is a perfect example of like, this is a song I can get behind, listen to several times with my kids, to have them listen to kids' music, but at the same time be like, okay, I can enjoy their music as well. And I can expand their horizons to not just listening to one type of music. So I didn't do a ton of research this week on bluegrass. I know usually I bring in a ton of research about bluegrass. I'm like, okay, let's do a history of bluegrass. I didn't do that this week. I will be completely and totally honest. Probably could have. I probably could have gone deep down that hole. But unfortunately, I got stuck going down a deep, dark hole of another kind.
Whoa, Tracy.
This. Not like that, I was like, all right, I'm going to be really funny here, and I'm going to go into a deep, dark search for the third verse. Because I was going to come out sounding really super smart, and that was like my whole point. So the third verse is
Labrador.
Yes, there's a little town in Labrador where she sells seashells by the shoe store. That's, of course, them having fun with the story of, like, she sells seashells by the seashore. Try saying that a million times fast when you can't say S's very well. My lisp got better this week. I mean, obviously, they're just trying to have fun, but I was like, I'm going to find a place in Labrador that sells seashells by a shoe store. I'm going to point it out. No, but I tried. I really actually tried. I actually even reached out to Andrew and Justin, our friends from the Monster Squad podcast, and said, "Can you, like, is there one?" And Andrew told me, "Yep, there's one in Red Bay." I'm like, "You're kidding me?" He's like, "Yeah, I am kidding you." I'm like, "You stinker. That was not nice. Oh, come on." And then Justin really sent me down the sinkhole. And he mentioned the town, okay, and I'm going to take me a second to say this correctly, Sheshashu. So, there's a town named Sheshashu in Labrador. So, I wish they had really used the name of this town, because then it would have been, she sells seashells in Sheshashu. But they didn't say that. But I couldn't help finding out some really cool stuff about Labrador this week, because I really got, like, pulled in. Labrador is like this huge, huge province. 71% of the Newfoundland Labrador province is Labrador, and Newfoundland is the size of Maine. Like, it's a big province. But only 6% of the province's population lives in Labrador itself.
I thought you were talking about the dog.
So in the total of Labrador, there's only 27,000 people, which is roughly the population of Auburn, Maine. Not counting Lewiston, just Auburn, Maine. It is a really small population in this huge, gigantic area. I mean, probably similar to all of the northeast of, like, not like counting Pennsylvania, New York, all of that, all the way up through that big an area with just the population of Auburn. It's huge. I also found there's a really cool island called the Island of Ponds. That's the name of it. And the island is basically just a piece of land with 36 shallow ponds all across it. But the only remaining settlement on that island is called Black Tickle, which sounds like a torture device of some sort. So, like, I really went down this really, really deep thing. And Andrew's the one that started this. It was his fault because he started telling me about the lyrics, or sorry, not the lyrics, but the poem, She Sells Seashells by the Seashore, was actually about a woman called Mary Anning, who was the first person to discover dinosaurs. But they wrote this poem about her and didn't mention anything about how she's the first person to discover dinosaurs. What they wrote was about that as a child, after her father died, she would sell seashells by the seashore to make money, which is actually how she discovered the ichthyosaur and the plesiosaur. Andrew sent me down a really, really deep hole. This is all your fault, Andrew. So I didn't end up having time this week to research the bluegrass music.
Well, bluegrass is really interesting. It's something that, you know, I was into jazz and classical when I was a kid, and then I got into Weird Al, and through Weird Al I got into pop music, you know, because I started to listen to the bands that he was satirizing. So I got into rock, and then from rock I got into blues and stuff like that. And, you know, you can trace, you know, there's certainly some commonality between rock and blues and country. I wasn't a big fan of country or hip-hop when I was younger. I finally, in college, started to get into that. And I pretty much like all genres of music now. I'm a firm believer that any given genre of music probably has an artist or at least a song or two that you will like if you give it a try. And bluegrass it's really interesting. There's actually a restaurant that sadly closed last year in the area that used to play all bluegrass covers of pop songs. So you'd go in there and there would just be bluegrass covers of everything from, you know, the top 40 to Radiohead. And actually, comedy duo Hard and Firm once did a Radiohead medley in bluegrass style called Rodeohead, which is actually fantastic, and I highly recommend people check it out. But yeah, it's really interesting. I think I really got into bluegrass when I saw Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which has a fantastic soundtrack. If you have not seen the film, I recommend it. And certainly I recommend going and listening to the soundtrack. It's probably on Spotify. But yeah, it's got a really long and storied history, and I unfortunately am not far from an expert on it. But there's some really good stuff out there. And if you haven't really given it much of a chance, I would suggest that you do.
And my guess is because I didn't do the deep dive, my guess is that if we looked into more of it, the reason they picked bluegrass for this type of song and the way they added up the lyrics probably matches up. My guess there is some absurdity in lyrics to bluegrass music at times, which is why they're like, well, we can be as absurd as we want with this and just take it to the nth degree to have fun.
Well, bluegrass traditionally is there's a lot of storytelling in it. It's similar. There's some crossover with country, like I said, where there's storytelling or even blues. But they're a great example of what you're talking about, Tracy. A lot of the old-timey kind of American folk tunes either draw inspiration from or informed what became bluegrass. So there's something like Big Rock Candy Mountain. So there's this aspect of fantastical storytelling. There's almost like an early American mythological sense about some of this stuff. So this does seem to be kind of appropriate.
I was just looking at it, and I think you could work it into a story. How you could work you could go something like, what was it? George went along one day. He could sing and sing, but he could sing better. He knitted a scarf, but he couldn't wear the sweater. He went under water, but he couldn't get wetter, 'cause he couldn't swim with his mohair sweater. He could dance, but he couldn't dance faster. He tried to put up, but it was a disaster. What more could he do but be the master? He went out and played his ghetto blaster. He could eat more than he could. His belly was full. So what would he do to the local store? He visited a town called Labrador. It wasn't a dog. He thought it could be. But then he saw a woman that sells seashores by the store. And he wondered why. Because that's such an odd thing to do. He could speak even quicker. But imagine the way the currently following snicker. But not the bar that he'd eat as he was walking along. 'Cause on the guitar he was a little bit slicker. But then he met Jimmy, who was a bit of a good flat picker. Bum.
That's true, it does. It does sound kind of like a story when you say it that way.
Yeah, it's Dr. Seussian.
And I think what I've never gotten about this song, that like in the 500 plus times I've listened to this song, but I've gotten through discussing it tonight, in the call and answer, it's very much them picking on each other. You know, the line, I tried to keep up, but it was a disaster, never made sense to me before, because he just got done talking about I can dance faster. But when you take it and you separate it apart and it's a call and answer, it now makes total sense. Aaron, let's do something real quick. Do you have the lyrics in front of you?
I do.
All right. So I want you to take the Ed lines, and I'm going to take in the other lines.
I can sing. I can sing
better.
I can knit a scarf.
But you can't knit a sweater.
Oh, I got you. Well, if he couldn't be wetter.
See, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's definitely a call and response.
Yeah. We'll never go swimming in a mohair sweater.
Now I have the compulsion to read this in the voice of Christopher Walken.
That would be amazing.
Imagine I made a way to make everyone currently frowning a snicker.
Excellent.
There we go. Cut, print.
And on the guitar, he could be a little slicker.
Yeah, but Jimmy always said I was a good flat picker.
And it really does. It makes sense as you listen to it as a call and answer. Like before, I was just listening to them as a Greek chorus. That's not what this is. This is them. This is dueling banjos, which is another bluegrassy type music. And I think that it's them doing kind of this callback of like, this is how, you know, that dueling banjos is like this, like one-upmanship, as you mentioned with Annie Get Your Gun. And just constantly saying they can do better and picking on each other. And I love it. Like, that makes me love this song even more. My score is now going to change even more compared to that. I did not think my score could go higher, but it just went higher.
Aha.
So why don't we get to the musical piece of this? Because we've been talking about the lyrics. Let's talk about the music. Oh, and one other thing that we didn't mention in the lyrics, but is kind of a mix of the lyrics and the music, is that I can sing, I can sing, I can sing. The harmonies building on top of each other. And I love that style. I love that idea of doing that. Did I lose everyone?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Everyone went quiet.
We're in agreement with you.
Oh. All right, so Aaron, break down the music for us.
All right, let's break it down.
Break down, break down, break down. Aaron's gonna talk about chord structure and time.
Obviously, as we said, this tune is from Snack Time. So I Can Sing. It's got a bluegrassy feel with some rap vocals from Ed. The tempo is approximately 205 beats per minute. It's in the key of E major, and the chords are as follows: E, A, B, F sharp, B, A, and then back to E. So we have a 1, 4, 5, 2, 5, 4, 1. Very simple progression that repeats throughout the entirety of the song, through 4 verses and a brief instrumental outro, giving the song an A form. Or as Monty Python would say. It's a simple little tune, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I like it more than I like most of the Snack Time tunes we've heard thus far. But it's no humongous tree.
It's not complex like the humongous tree.
And it doesn't have the shalalalas.
Now, one of the things I could not determine is who is playing the banjo. And the reason I can't figure that out is in the liner notes for this album, they did a basic overall, except for some major differences, like who's doing like the statements in Snack Time. They kept it general, as in like, here's the instruments that we all played on these songs. Ed is listed as playing the banjo. Kevin is listed as playing the banjo. So it could have been either one of them. My guess is it's only one of them. I don't hear double banjos in the song. I don't know, because it could have been, Ed could have been playing it on a different song, or Kevin could have been playing on a different song. My guess is, though, that this is Ed playing the guitar and Kevin is playing the banjo, because that's what happens in concert is that lineup. And Kevin really has this song down and plays it really well live. So my guess is that was what would happen in the studio as well.
I would agree.
And if that's the case, Kevin is an amazing banjo player.
Yeah, he's amazing at everything he does.
Kevin can play pretty much everything.
It's kind of annoying.
He's a music auteur.
He is, a multi-instrumentalist.
So, Mark, what are your thoughts on the music of this song?
I just like as you were saying, it's like bing, 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 bing. I just try to listen to it as I go along. I mean, if it makes you smile, I like things that make you think, oh, that was a bit dull, but hey, the music it's sort of like, and you think, oh, I like the bit when you go straight into the lyrics, and then straight away you're smiling because you're thinking, oh, that's a really silly song, but I like the silly songs because that's what as I said earlier, that's what we need in life, the universe, and everything. And the answer is 42.
I think we lost them all together now. Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I have a frozen feed on.
I mean, he's
end.
Probably still talking on his end.
It's called The Connection. It's called the Gremlins. Actually, your gremlin could sing your song. I do a bit of horror hosting, and I was thinking you can't really do it as a horror, but I'm going to try. You go, I can sing, but I can sing better. I can knit a scarf, but you can't knit a sweater. When under water, I can be wetter. Never go swimming in a mohair sweater. Or something like that.
Sounded almost like the Emperor from Star Wars. That's menacing right there. Matter of fact, I would like to see the Emperor from Star Wars sing this. That would be amazing. I can sing. I want to see Darth Vader and
It was definitely different. You could. What's the one you used to tilt backwards?
Oh, Yoda.
Better sing, can I? Sing, can I? Sing, can I?
Well, Tracy, I can hear Darth Vader saying, "When I left you, I was but the learner. One more move, and I'm gonna be the master."
Nice. So yeah, we have to have the Emperor, Darth Vader, and probably Darth Maul. So anyone that's out there that wants to create that, please create that. Make that happen.
And title it. It should be titled "I Can Sith."
Oh, perfect. That's amazing. Jeff, get on this.
Please.
That is amazing.
We want to see that video, folks. It would be worth it. And anybody who's listening, you came up with the concept first.
And in some ways, I feel that Star Wars is in some ways almost horror, because it is for kids, it is a very scary movie, especially Return of the Jedi at the very end. It's a dark, very scary movie. I remember it scared me when I was a kid. I still loved it, but it scared me. So it's like...
Did you know the character David Prowse, who played Darth Vader, he talked like a bit like that. I can sing, I can, but I can't sing better. I knit a scarf, but I can't knit a sweater. He talked a bit like that. He was a bit like the yokel. So they had to change his voice because they couldn't have that. Imagine I am your father, Luke. Well, you can't. I can't be your father. Or something like that.
So the other thing, about the music is it sounds very simple. But if you strip out each of the instruments, what they're playing is not simple, I don't think. And I picked up on that with watching just Ed with the bathroom sessions. What he is doing on the guitar is very complicated, it seems. Aaron, you would know better than I.
It's very bluegrass. Like I said, with bluegrass, you get a lot of the... there's kind of a counterpointal rhythm going on. A lot of it is It's interesting because I did notice in the bathroom sessions version, although I missed the harmonies, a lot of it is carried through with just the guitar, because often I think bluegrass, it's really interesting because you see a lot of performances with large bands, and they'll really kind of build it up with the upright bass and banjos, and they'll layer it. But if you can pick the guitar in such a way that you're you less than just strumming on chords, you're really picking out a melody and kind of implying the chords through the notes that you select, it does kind of fill up the sound a little bit, and that's what we're hearing here.
Mm-hmm. And I think Kevin does a great job of filling in those breaks in between there. And
oh, yeah.
You don't notice it's missing until you hear Ed's version. And you're like, yeah, I miss the drums. I miss the bass. And Kevin, where is Kevin? We need Kevin in here. And then, of course, the harmonies are just, essential in the song. So it really... I loved Ed playing it, but the bathroom sessions just didn't do this justice. And the more that we talk about the call and answer piece of it, it doesn't make any sense now to do it as a bathroom sessions, I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can hear it when he's doing the I can sing. When he's saying it by himself, you're not only missing the harmonies, but it's taking out the multiplicity of it, where you have the one voice join the other voice, which is also a very common bluegrass convention, where you get one, quite frequently, actually, you'll have one person sing out and hold the note and then joined by others layering. Yeah, so... yeah, it really does change the song. I think, for what it is, it's great and it's fun. But again, I think it's, of the three, it's my least favorite, just because you miss all those other moving parts.
Yeah.
I only can say I enjoy it, and I think it's worth, as you say, a minute, 2 minutes of your life. What's that? Nothing in the scheme of the world and the universe. As I say, we don't appreciate music or that so much sometimes, how much it influences your life. You hear a song sometimes and you go, oh, I remember that. And I'm just thinking, I wonder what songs people are listening to now in 2020, that then they'll go back and they'll go, oh my God, that was the year when we did this, and that was the year we did that. Or we did the social distancing dance. Do you know what I mean? You go, one step to the right, one step to the left. And I must wear a mask.
And no one's written that song yet. Someone needs to write that song. It's Social Distancing Dance.
I like it.
We are due for that.
It's the song we need right now.
I think you should do a song about a mask.
Yeah, totally. Maybe one part of it is you have to hold your hand over your face.
I must wear a mask, 'cause I might get the dust. Oh, it might sound more like this.
I can breathe safer.
So speaking about how much a song influences us, let's put some numbers to this baby, and I want to know how many mohair sweaters we give this song. So Mark, in case you don't know, we rank every song from 0 to 5. 5 is a song that we can listen to ad nauseum and never will. It's in our top echelon. It's on our island playlist. 0 wishes that we could wish it out of existence. Like if we found that genie's bottle, boom, it's gone.
If we had the Infinity Gauntlet, we would snap it. Snap it right away.
That's right. So, I'm going to let you go first, Aaron. 0 to 5, how many mohair sweaters do you give this song?
It's tough because, me, I'm not big on the kids' songs in general, but this one has some character. It's really short and sweet, but it is a quote-unquote real song, not to sound too snobby on that, but it's a complete song. It's very simple, but again, there's nothing wrong with simplicity, especially when it's done well. I enjoyed it. It's not one I think I will be seeking out with any kind of regularity, but I wouldn't skip it if it came on, not just because it's so short, but because it's fun and I could nod my head to it. And, I could see myself drinking moonshine out of a mason jar in a rocking chair on a porch listening to this and certainly enjoying it. Like I said, it's no humongous tree, but what is? It's tough. I mean, seeing as we have established since 0 is an option, 2.5 being like right down the middle, I think it's certainly better than that. I'm going to give I Can Sing a solid 3.4 mohair sweaters out of 5. So say a mohair sweater and a couple scarves.
Nice. So you can knit a scarf.
Don't tell anyone.
Okay.
Well, it's too late.
Everyone knows now.
I can't, actually. I wish I could. All I can do is music, really. It's pretty much music and terrible jokes. That's what I got.
Oh, well, yeah. At least you got the music part. I just got the terrible jokes piece.
Very important, the music bit.
You got kind of a feel on this now. So how many mohair sweaters do you give this song?
I was thinking about that. Mohair sweaters I would give. I don't know how much I could knit them with my knitting stick. So I would think if I got the yarn, with the wool would difficult to get in the stores this day and age, I'd queue up for 2 meters and with my mask and say, can I have some wool? And the mohair sweater I would give would be a solid 4.
Sweet.
All right, then. Good.
Nice.
Tracy, how many mohair sweaters would you give I Can Sing?
So as you know, I rank my children's songs a little bit differently because it's children's songs, but also because I got kids, and so
Double standard.
So my ranking is like how much can I listen to this and still enjoy it after listening to it with the kids? If I have the kids in the car, will I seek it out? Yes. I would seek this song out. I seek it out even when they're not in the car, honestly. I really like to sing with it. Except for that one line every time. I leave that alone. Often I'm trying to sing out the harmonies instead of the melodies. I had to actually force myself numerous times throughout this week to not sing so that I could break down this song. Are there other kids' songs on this album that I like better? Yes, but not by much. And after our discussion tonight, really not by much. That call and answer bumped it up even more. I give this 4.75.
Wow.
So we didn't have Stefan and Jeff with us last night when we were recording, but I don't want to leave them out. So, Stefan, Jeff, tell me your thoughts on this song.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Which song was this again? What are we doing?
You did that a couple weeks ago.
I did, yeah. No, I was way off on that one. That was I Can Sing is obviously off the Kids album again, which is an interesting album, and I find that it's there's either songs that I absolutely love on there or songs that are like, they're pretty good. I Can Sing it. I really enjoy this song. I love the harmonics of it. I love the playfulness of the back and forth, the banter. The lyrics are a lot of fun. The pace of them, like we were talking about before this, also a really hard song to play. It even mentions guitars in it with the whole, I was a good flat picker and everything. And the guitar, you could be a little slicker. No, I do like this song, and I think the guys sound really good on this. And you can tell this is an Ed written song. But I enjoy this one. I have a lot of fun with this one. This is another one that I would put for, I would say it's on a kids album. It's a kids song. Kids would love this song, but it's one that I can listen to too and enjoy. This is another. We talked about Humongous Tree previously, and we said that that's one we could put on our Barenaked Ladies playlist. Right in there with the other stuff and enjoy it. I kind of felt that way about this one too. And the version they did with the Persuasions, really enjoyed that version. We get to the numbers and everything. Am I going to say this is my absolute favorite? Is this right up there with Call and Answer for me? Or Brian? No. But, it's a pleasant surprise song, I think. I enjoy it. It's a good listen, I think, for what it is.
All right. Stefan, your thoughts on this song?
Oh, well, I agree with Jeff. It's easy to listen to, but BNL being who they are, they're intellectual, they're intelligent, and they don't treat children like they're idiots. And that's one of the things that I like about them. And they teach, they train, but they never compromise on being themselves. So it's a complicated song. It's got a great sound to it, which is everything that they've got, pretty much. And then they've got lyrics that you have to listen to them. And they've got meaning. And they'll apply and resonate at different points in your time of listening. whether it's like last year or whether it's 5 years down the road. You'll be like, oh, I didn't pick up on that. That's interesting. So they're all songs that you can grow with. Where I grew up, we grew up listening to Ray Stevens and Roger Miller, and they were both country singers that really had fun and played with songs. And Ray Stevens, sung The Streak, which is just fun and stupid. Then Roger Miller with You Can't Ride Around with a Tiger in Your Car, You Can't Roller Skate in a Buffalo Herd. And I think this is a blend of those two things. And I heard Roger Miller as soon as I heard this song.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've got to listen to You Can't Roller Skate in a Buffalo Herd again. This is great. You can't drive around with a tiger in your car. It's just, this is off the wall. And why would you ever want to write something like this? And it doesn't make sense. And then it kind of does as you go along. It's like, okay, maybe it's not supposed to make sense. It's just absurd. It's fun. So those are my thoughts. I like the song.
Now, one of the things that came up as we were discussing it last night, which was really interesting, and I'm going to type in the lyrics here so I can do it justice.
We should form a league of justice.
What would we call it, though?
I don't know. A league representing justice.
That's just us. So
Just us.
The League of Just Us.
That makes sense.
I want to be Hydro Man. Is that something?
It's better than the Lawyer Association or something like that. Hydro Man.
As he holds up his Marvel mug, we're talking about Justice League, but wrong universe, Tracy.
I was a DC fan growing up, but I have to say the Marvel movies are better.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things that came out, and I never picked up on it really before, because we were talking about the call and answer of this song.
Right.
And it's not just harmonies. They're not just building off each other like bluegrass does. It's actually they're talking to each other in this song. One of the things that came out is that if you have the people and you sit and you listen to it as a conversation, they're picking on each other and they're one-upping each other.
It's the everything you could do, I could do better of our generation.
Yes.
It's like brothers and sisters.
Yeah. True. Or brothers.
And I think kids will definitely be able to relate with that.
Yeah, agreed. And it's a fun song. This is another one. I added on like Humongous Tree. When I played that, my kids gravitated to the phone where I was playing it. But this one, I was listening to it in my car, but I could see, the same thing happening. I could see my 1.5-year-old getting up and dancing to this, or my 6-year-old. I could see easily.
Yeah. Well, I could see it better.
No,
All right, guys. So 0 to 5, how many mohair sweaters do you give this song? I'm gonna go.
How many mohair sweaters?
How many mohair sweaters?
I can score better.
Well, we'll see who can score better.
I'm giving it 5 because I want the best score. Ha! Top that.
5 plus infinity.
5 to infinity. Oh, we can't say that, can we? That's copyrighted.
And yes, don't do that. I don't want to pay for that.
Oh, you will.
To infinity and backwards.
There you go.
Considering the mug that you just held up.
Disney will never notice.
Lawsuit man.
That's
except this is an audio podcast, so I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Boop. Just because you're on video now doesn't.
Take that, Disney.
Easy now.
So Jeff, 0 to 5, how many mohair sweaters do you give this song?
I like the song a lot. It's fun. I like the versions of it. Even the bathroom sessions. It's enjoyable. It doesn't have that playfulness of the back and forth as you pointed out. There again, I don't think I can ever rank one of the snack time songs up there with the rest of the catalog. But we gave Humongous Tree a pretty good ranking previously. I don't know if I'd go that high on this one. I'd put it on my playlist, but I got to keep it a little bit on the low end. So I would probably give this one a 3.8 Angora sweaters.
All right. Stefan, how many...
What's up, Stefan?
Angora sweaters. No. mohair sweater.
Oh, mohair sweater. Okay, a mohair sweater is an Angora sweater, though.
Well, mohair is a goat.
Angora. Angora goat. It is an Angora. Google it. I'm telling you. I'm gonna look. You know what? I'm not gonna be outdone here. I'm gonna look this up here. I'm sure I do. No, it is made from the hair of an Angora goat. Right there. Right on. Yeah. Not to be confused with the Angora rabbit.
Ah. No, the Angora goat, is that from northern Bhutan or southern?
Is that from where?
But, yeah, I was going to say 3, but then I'm like, 3.2 works well. Because, why not throw in a decimal point?
All right, 3.2. And by the way, just for the record, I can score better. I put it down as a 4.75.
Really? Oh! Wow. Okay. So what were the rankings on this one overall?
I have not been able to put them into the computer yet.
You've got a calculator, right?
Well, yeah, right here, but...
I would critique you, but at least you made the podcast last night, so I guess I really can't, can I?
Hold on, I can do this.
Better.
This is getting old.
Is he cursing under his breath? Because that's what it looks like.
I can curse better.
I am sure you can. Any curse you can say, I can curse better. I can curse better than you. No, you effing can't.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
I censored myself. Don't give me that shocked look.
So the average comes out 3.8.
3.8.
But this is a kids' album, so let's hear from the kids. Kids, what do you think about this song? Benjamin, tell me what you thought of this song.
I like this song because of how high beat it was. I didn't like that it was pretty random.
You didn't like that it was random?
No.
So 0 to 5, how many do you give this song?
4.
4? Okay, thank you, Ben. Isabella, what did you think about this week's song?
I liked that the words were picked very creatively, and I would give it a 5.
Okay. Are there any things you didn't like about the song?
No.
Okay. So there are a lot of concert versions of the song, but there's 2 that I really liked. One of them, there's a discussion at the very beginning, as I was mentioning earlier. It's like a good 5-minute discussion about this song. See, the discussion of the song is longer than the song itself. Yes. But it's fun to watch these guys play it, because when they play it live, they get around the one microphone all together.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to watch them do that. And then there's another one as well, but this one has the camera on the end of Ed's guitar. So you're watching down the end of Ed's guitar as Ed's playing it. And you also get to see Tyler playing his body for the rhythm because he's away from the drums. It's really fun. So those are going to be my appearances for this week. And you know what? That's all I'm giving for appearances this week, because I can. I have that kind of power. And if I want to give more, I will. But next week, we'll just have to see what I do. As we discuss the song, I can, I will, I do.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
that one was a tight one.
You kind of had to go all the way around the world to come back to it. I like it.
But I did.
Yeah. You
and
will.
I will.
You can.
Because I can.
You do.
Mark, Aaron, I think my hair is kind of thinning out. What do you think? I think it's time for some plugs.
Totally.
So Mark, can you give us some plugs? Can you tell us where people can find more of you?
Mohair plugs? He said you get some mohair plugs. I appreciated that.
Nice. That's good. They'd actually feel good. They'd be shiny and sheeny, and it'd be nice. Instead of this dry, coarse hair I got.
I still wish I had hair.
The grass is always greener. The hair is always thicker on the other side.
Mark, tell us a little bit about Ghostman Radio Station.
Basically, my show is on various stations. Ghostman Radio Station. I cover lots and lots of subjects. I like doing readings of books. I sing. I do comedy. Do horror. I talk about Bigfoot, UFOs, aliens, conspiracy theories. You name it, I've probably done it. And basically, I just like having a bit of fun. I don't know how many thousand. I think I'm over, 3,000 podcasts or something. I do about 5 a day, just because I can.
Excellent. So that's Ghostman Radio Station.
Ghostman Radio Station, yes. It's available on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Red Circle Podcasts, and other various outlets. And please look me up.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for... Actually, I've really enjoyed listening to the episodes I've been able to get in so far.
Thanks, that was fun. Don't forget, no regrets, except maybe one.
This weekend, Stephen Page has his 50th birthday party with special guests.
I need to get a new suit for that.
Yeah, you do. It's Wednesday, so you might want to hurry up on that.
Well, I'm going.
Okay, saying if you need it fitted or sized or anything, you're cutting it short. Not the suit, but
yes, right.
Maybe the suit.
Don't cut the suit short.
Okay, we'll cut off suit cut off jeans. It could be a new trend.
It could be.
I can have my suit shorter.
But how long are they?
Well, there's probably children listening. We don't want them too short.
Again, we have to remind him that this is an audio podcast. He has trouble with that. You could go pantless for the podcast if you wanted to. I am.
That's good to know, actually. I think I might surprise you guys next week.
Eyes up here.
To celebrate joining Pantheon Podcasts, Rock Camp, the podcast, the official podcast of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, is giving away a guitar signed by Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, Marty Friedman, formerly of Megadeth, and legendary shredder Zakk Wylde, plus our rockstar counselors like Vinny Appice, Monty Pittman, and more. To enter to win, simply follow, rate, and review our podcast on your preferred platform, and that's all you have to do. For more information, go to rockcamp.com/podcast.